Hi, I'm Samantha with Holland America Line, and I am here today to give a presentation about our wonderful product. Again, thank you for attending Cruise Holidays Vacation Extravaganza. Always a great place to come and rub elbows with the travel agents who we always recommend that you book your trips with. We entrust in them to really sell our product because they are the experts. They're the frontline experts. We're just here to answer the questions for you. So let me tell you a little bit about Holland America. I've got a quick video for you.
To all of you who want go-karts, laser tag, and water slides, may I suggest another cruise line? To all of you explorers looking to discover, to all of you foodies looking to indulge, to all you music lovers looking to heal, may we suggest your next cruise? We're Holland America Line. We're not for everybody, but we might be perfect for you.
All right, so welcome. I'm Samantha with Holland America. Thank you for joining me. I'm just telling you guys a little bit about our cruise line and what we have to offer. So Holland America Line, some of the things that we really pride ourselves is the food. We're for explorers, we're for foodies, we're for music lovers. So if any of those things are your thing, Holland America really does them well. A lot of the reason that I personally travel is food. I really love trying different cuisines and different restaurants, and so we have a lot of really great options as far as food is concerned. And then, of course, for the explorers, people that want to pursue these passions on the 7 seas and continents. We go to all 7 continents, over 450 ports of call. So we have a lot of options. If there's some place you want to go, there's a good chance we go there. We don't have the water slides, the go-karts, the roller coasters. That's not who Holland America is. Those things are fantastic. But, you know, for people that just really want to explore and see the destinations and really just enjoy the ship itself and connect with their family members, with new friends on the ship, that's kind of what we have to offer with Holland America. And then our ships are perfectly sized and uncrowded. My husband and I just got off of a cruise, in fact, and it's only his second Holland America cruise, and he was explaining, you know, the ship was sold out for the New Year's cruise that we were on, and he was saying how he was so surprised that it didn't feel overly crowded. So our ships, you know, our fleet is, you know, we really range in size from about 1,200 passengers up to 2,600 passengers. So we're never going to have those 6,000 passenger ships. I know a lot of people do like those. That's not my cup of tea. I'm a more boutique hotel kind of gal. So I like things that are a little bit smaller and walkable and manageable. I mean, if you leave your purse in your stateroom, you're not like, oh, I'll see you in an hour. I've got to go get my purse. You know, you're to your room and your stateroom and back quickly, and you really get to know the ship and the lay of the land. Which is something that I love about Holland America. And then cruise vacations with one-of-a-kind experiences. We just really have a lot of really great excursions and things that we do that are very unique to Holland America. We also have a wonderful program called Exploration Central, or our EXC program. And depending on the ship that you're on, up in the crow's nest on most of the ships, you're going to find our Exploration Central location. It's someplace that I go every day when I'm on the cruise. It's a great place to grab a cup of coffee. You can see where you're at on the map. You can explore all of the different excursions that we have to offer up in this space. And then we're going to have professionals up in that space that are going to help you plan your excursions. Even if you already have your excursions planned, but you have questions, they're there for you. If you want to maybe go into a port of call and don't have an excursion plan, but you're just like, I really would like to know like a good local restaurant here in this port of call, they're going to help you with that as well. They'll just direct you to some options that are what you're looking for. And you can delve into each destination's cultures, again, with local experts. We really like connecting people with those local experts. And then listen to stories of local lore. So sometimes we'll have events there up in the crow's nest or in different parts of the ship. They're called EXC talks. So, you know, for instance, when you're going into a port of call, they'll tell you, you know, what's the currency? What are some of the customs? What are some do's and don'ts? So really great information that you can get if you're interested. And then, of course, if you're just going to maybe the Caribbean, someplace you've been before and you kind of already know, you don't even have to go to those talks, but they're there if you want them, which is really nice. And then, of course, as I mentioned, our culinary experiences. We have a culinary council, so it's a council of chefs that we work with, and they make these really delicious menus and meals for our specialty restaurants and for our dining room. So a lot of different, here's a quick video, sorry.
Salt and a point of view. classic French technique, some Italian principles, but in a very non-traditional way. Essentially, my life story through food. Winning Top Chef completely changed the path of my career. The biggest thing that it gave me was permission to be who I am. When Holland America Line invited me to be part of their culinary council, this idea of cooking on a ship, giving myself through food, through demos to the guests, excites me. The dishes I'm going to share with guests on the cruise ship kind of ride that line of something new and different, but also very familiar. I want to create highs and lows. You have to ride a wave through flavor, through pacing, through visually interesting aesthetic. I have no interest in being a chef that stands back and just watches it all take place. When you're in the kitchen, you are a cook, you are a chef, and you are an individual giving a piece of yourself. My name is Kristen Kish. Food is my story, food is my purpose, and food is my love language.
When I watch that video and I'm hungry and I'm talking about it, like my stomach starts rumbling. That mac and cheese that she's making looks extraordinary. So Kristen Kish is, again, winner of Top Chef and our newest Culinary Council member. Just, again, somebody that we use to create recipes and things like that for our dining room and specialty restaurants. And then the live music. As I mentioned, food and music, two of my favorite things. If you're wanting to see some live music, depending on what kind of music you like, there's something for you on our ship. We've got Lincoln Center Stage. They play up here in the upper left-hand corner. They play. They're Lincoln Center musicians, classically trained. They'll play modern music. They'll play classical music. Even if, and I don't listen to classical music in my car or home per se, but I love listening to them play because they're just so wonderful and they do it so well. Of course, B.B. King's our most popular venue. They play blues, R&B, the songs that everybody knows. Your grandma will know them, your kids will know them, you'll know them. So it's really just a great venue to go to dance. It's funny when they start out, it's usually about a 45-minute set, and the dance floor is completely bare. And usually by the first or second song, it's almost always a woman will be like, "That's my favorite song," and she goes out, and then everybody's dancing, and then it's great people watching. If you don't dance, it's really a lot of fun. And then, of course, on two of our ships, we've got the Rolling Stone Rock Room, which is our newest venue. So if you're looking for a little rock, you can find it there. And then Billboard on Board. It's a dueling piano location. I really love it. My favorite night is all request night, when you give them the slip of paper and they play whatever song you want. And they literally can play any song you want, because I've seen them. They've got they're facing each other, like you see here, and they've got iPads with the music, the sheet music on the iPads. And I slipped them a note one time when we were on a ship, and I saw them look at each other, and the guy goes, "Really?" to the other person. He goes, "Let's give it a try." They played the song. So it's really great, and I really just enjoy watching them just create those songs for the first time right in front of you. Here's a quick map of some of the places that we go to. Again, all 7 continents, over 450 ports of call. The Caribbean, we are great in the Caribbean. There's a couple reasons. I love our private island, which is Half Moon Cay. Half Moon Cay I was just there over the New Year with my family, and the water is just as clear and crystal blue. My kids have been to a lot of Caribbean destinations and said it was the most beautiful water they've ever seen. So it's beautiful. We did the horseback riding. You don't see a picture here, but usually we have the horses go through the water, and our kids did that and just loved it. We've got a quick little water park here for kids, and we've got cabanas for adults, so it's a really great place to go to really see the Caribbean. And one thing that I also like about Holland America and the Caribbean is that a lot of the ships you'll see pull up in port are those gigantic cruise lines that have the water slides and all that stuff. And again, that's great for those families and people that are looking for that experience. But what I like about us is, even though we are family friendly, we do have a lot less children on our ships in the Caribbean. So if you're looking for something a little bit more adult oriented, where kids just aren't overrunning the ship and splashing everywhere, they're still going to be there, but it's just not going to be quite as much as some of the other cruise lines. So that's how we're a little bit different in the Caribbean. And then, of course, Europe, and I'm talking very fast. I apologize. I've got so much to say in 25 minutes, so I can hear my dad going, "Slow down, slow down." But Europe, so we've got so many different Europe itineraries. Mediterranean, obviously, and then Northern Europe, really great. So the trips that go to the Baltic. So we've got overnights in St. Petersburg, which is a very popular itinerary that people are asking about now. Iceland, the fjords in Norway, just very beautiful destinations in Northern Europe. And as I mentioned, just a ton of Mediterranean itineraries. And then we also have transatlantic voyages, which a lot of people really do like because, if they want to, if you don't like to fly that much, you can take the ship one way and get a really great price. So let's say from Fort Lauderdale, you're going over to Venice or wherever you're going to disembark. That way you spend some time in Europe and then you fly back. So just the transatlantics really are priced great. And if you like being on a ship, which I do, it's a great place to start. We do have overnight stays in 11 popular ports, St. Petersburg being one of them. We are back in Istanbul in 2020. So we're excited about that, and we do offer overnight stays. And then we have more than 70 collector's voyages, which are basically cruises that you piece together. So if you're doing a 7-night, but then there's a 7-night after that that does a different itinerary on the same ship, keep all your stuff on the ship, do a longer voyage, make it a 14-day. And, Europe's a long way to go from the Midwest. So, if you have that time and you have that money, a little extra budget, you're going to save money by piecing them together and taking that longer voyage. Also, we do go to Asia. A cruise is a great way to see Asia. It's a floating hotel. I've done a lot of land journeys in my time, and they're great, but the packing and unpacking, it's a lot. So being on a cruise ship is great. You're just pulling up, and sometimes you wake up in a completely different country, especially in places like Europe and Asia. So it's a wonderful place to see. And then, of course, the Panama Canal. We do have ships that go through the old and the new canal. So we've got a lot of different itineraries that go east to west, west to east, that go all the way through, some that go partial. So lots of options as far as Panama Canal is concerned. And then Hawaii and Mexico. We do have a couple Hawaii itineraries that either you can fly into Hawaii and do the cruise, or you can leave out of San Diego, take a few days at sea, and then cruise around the Hawaiian Islands. Again, a great way to see all the different islands that are in Hawaii and not have to unpack and fly and do all that stuff. And then we are known for Alaska. I like to say we are Alaska because we've been there for over 70 years. We've been showing guests the state since 1947, which was before it was even a state. We've got, we've got itineraries that include Glacier Bay National Park. We have the most permits there, so it's very limited the amount of ships they let in Glacier Bay National Park to preserve the area. And Holland America has grandfathered in so many permits because we were the first there. So we offer a lot of different itineraries. Here's a quick video.
When it comes to Alaska, only Holland America Line has the expertise to take you farther, get you closer, and give you those once-in-a-lifetime moments. We are Alaska. We are Holland America Line.
Have you guys been to Alaska? You have, yeah. And I love Alaska. It's such a fantastic. Who'd you go with? Holland America. Okay, nice, nice, good. Okay, great. The Ultimate Alaska Cruise. We do have more ships in Alaska. We do have really great. I always say docking position at the ports of call because, again, we're grandfathered into those spots. It doesn't seem like something that's that important, but especially for older passengers, which you're not, but for older passengers, or just being close to everything instead of having to kind of walk far. And again, Glacier Bay, we have 91 permits this year in 2020, and we just have a lot of Alaska-themed entertainment on our ships as well, as far as those EXC talks are concerned, and local artisans coming on board and things like that. These are some of the itineraries that we have. A lot of 7 days that just go round trip Seattle, round trip Vancouver. Then we also have a lot of northbound, southbound that are either in and out of Anchorage, Seward, out of Vancouver, or vice versa. And then, as I mentioned, Glacier Bay National Park. These are some of the ports of call that we visit. Haines, Alaska, Homer, Juneau, one of my favorite ports, Ketchikan, which I love, and of course Seward, the Anchorage area. And then Sitka is a great place to walk around. They've got a national forest there if you've been. It's just a free, great little walking area that's really beautiful. And then Skagway, of course, is a fantastic port of call as well. And then Denali. This is our McKinley Chalet in Denali. We've got our own private chalet resort. And here's some pictures of it. I don't know if you had a chance. Did you do land or cruise only when you went? Cruise only? Okay. So if you decided to add a land onto your cruise, we have a lot of different options. And this is our private resort, McKinley Chalet. It's very beautiful. It's set right along the Nananau River. And we've got our exclusive Denali Square, this picture here. It's a great gathering place. They've got these wonderful fire pits. You can sip a glass of wine. And depending on the weather, you never know. It could be a jacket weather. It could be a tank top. You know, it depends on if the sun is out and if it's, cloudy. So sit by the fire pits and sip a coffee or a glass of wine. And then we've got, of course, our entertainment there in that area where we're having people play music, or we have our Music of Denali dinner show. And then the Tundra Wilderness Tour. The Tundra Wilderness Tour is that tour that goes into Denali National Park, and it goes 62 miles into the park. There are two different itineraries as far as the two different tours into the park. The first one is the Natural History Tour, which is what all the other cruise lines include when they go to Denali, and that goes 16 miles into the park. The Tundra Wilderness Tour is what we include, and it goes 62 miles in. Why is that important? The last time I went to Denali National Park was July of 2018, and I took note of what animals I had seen or what I had seen up to that 16-mile point, just because I like to know, well, why is it different? Why do I want to do that longer tour? I saw some moose, like in the parking lot as soon as we got there, which was great, which, we loved them. But after that 16-mile point, I saw Dall sheep. We saw grizzly bears. We saw more moose. So we saw everything that we were going there to see. So it's definitely worth the time to go into Denali National Park and really get in further. So that is included with 2 and 3 night stays in Denali. If you only stay 1 night in Denali, it's not included because there's not enough time. But that's the only reason it's not included with that. Here's a quick video about McKinley Chalet in Denali.
There's something cleansing about being in nature, and there's a reset button whenever you come to Denali. My name's Rachel Hall. I am a journey host for Holland America Line. I've been working in and out of Denali National Park for the last 6 years. The park is about the size of Massachusetts, so just being in a place that is on such a massive scale as Denali National Park, I think it's very humbling. You realize that you're pretty small. My guests can't stop raving about everything that they saw, and they're showing me their photos. So I do see that change in every single one of my groups that come over here. My role as a journey host is to create a seamless journey for my guests. So anything that they need, I am here to help them facilitate that. Everybody ready for the park tour today? I really hope you get to see the mountain. Hey, my name is Rachel Hall. I'm one of the journey hosts. I send ahead their room requests. I make sure that their luggage is going to the right place. So luggage tags are a big part of my life. And I'm just here for them. So anything that they need along the way, I'm here to make sure that they have all the information that they need and that they have the best possible time that they can.
This is the party. Back here, Party City.
If I get a cramp in my cheek.
Holland America Line, they really are experts in travel, and they've spent so much time here in Alaska. They just have it so streamlined, and guests get to have a fantastic experience here in the park. What motivates me is that happiness. I want my guests to experience Alaska and to have the best possible time that they can, and I want them to walk away thinking that this was a trip of a lifetime.
She is, and that's the moose wave, by the way. So again, our journey hosts you want for nothing. And if you do a tour that includes the Yukon, you're going to get a journey host. So I'll tell you a little bit about the Yukon here. Oops. We already went over the Tundra Wilderness Tour. So the Yukon, that's something that's exclusive to Holland America. We're the only cruise line that brings guests into the Yukon territory as part of your experience. If you want to go, of course, you can get a land-only package with just Denali. But if you've been to Alaska and you're just looking for something a little bit different, the Yukon is a really cool place to go. This picture here is of the White Pass Yukon Railroad, which is a railroad that takes you from Skagway to Fraser, Canada, into the Yukon territory. And it's really just a beautiful train ride. It's very scenic. The Yukon White Pass Railroad was created to take the miners into the mountains for the Yukon Gold Rush. So they literally built that to take them in. So it's very history rich. If you like history, even if you don't, I wouldn't call myself a history buff, but learning all of that history was just so interesting to me. So the Yukon White Pass Railroad is wonderful. And then, of course, we've got different transportation options in different cities that we visit there. Here's a quick video about the train ride with one of our conductors.
Skagway was basically settled during the Klondike Gold Rush of 1898. When they struck the gold here, and everyone heard these headlines of gold, 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 tens of thousands of people rushed to come to the gold rush. This was their lottery, their Powerball of their time. And they realized that a railroad would be needed to carry these people up there and to carry the gold back. And we've been operating ever since 1898 when the railroad was built. My name is Mike Sika. I'm a conductor for the White Pass Railroad in Skagway, Alaska. And I'm responsible for the movement of the train, coordination of my coworkers. It's a great challenge. Good to see you guys again. We're really fortunate people with the summer trains. People get to ride with us for 3.5 hours. And they're going to be thinking that this train could go for a magic scenic railway with a world ride. It's going to be something they can't see anywhere else. I think one of the most incredible things about this job is the connection we make with other people. How many we got? Thanks for coming with us. Are you having a good cruise? When guests come off the Holland America Line ships and they get onto this train, and they're going to be hearing the rocking and the rolling of the train, the whistles, the history. It is a universal experience. And it's that connection that makes them feel they're not only observing the experience, but they're part of it.
It's beautiful. I love trains, planes, and automobiles. So, it's just a really cool way to see things. And I'm going to have to wrap it up. I've got, of course, always a lot to talk about, and 25 minutes is almost impossible to cram everything into because I get kind of carried away with other things. But I want to tell you guys about the specials that we have with Cruise Holidays. Do you book with a travel agent, or have you booked in the past? Okay, good. Because you'd be surprised. A lot of people that even come to the show don't use a travel agent, and they'll want to go and book direct. And I always tell them, I'm like, don't book direct. Working for Holland America, I'm telling you, if you go online, you're not going to get you're going to get good assistance, obviously, but you're going to get personal help with the travel agent. So I always stress, please book with an agent. We trust them and they know our product, and you're also going to get different specials for booking with the travel agent that you wouldn't get at hollandamerica.com. One of them that we have to offer right now is just a Holland America special for our View and Veranda. So this is for a summer cruise to Alaska, Europe, and beyond. So it's starting in summer of 2020 and beyond. You're going to get free stateroom upgrades, free onboard spending money up to $500 per stateroom shipboard credit, free or reduced fares for kids, so if you're looking to bring family, and then 10% off select shore excursions, and then a 50% reduced deposit. So a lot of really great options kind of built into this package. And then if you book a suite, you're also going to get prepaid gratuities, which is awesome. Also with that, this is where Cruise Holidays comes in. If you book with Cruise Holidays, 7 days, during the 7-day window today and beyond, you're going to get an additional shipboard credit added to your package. It just depends on what kind of stateroom you have, what kind of cabin. Depends on the amount of money that you're going to get added onto your room. So let Oprah take it away for us.
You're going to remember this experience on Holland America in a way that you wouldn't remember if you spent the money on a thing, a physical thing. You're going to remember the experience. You're going to treasure the time. You're going to think about when you saw the glacier. You're going to think about the process of being here. And everybody always wanted to come to the Favorite Things show. But if we were to interview all the people over the years who got stuff, they won't remember the stuff. Yeah. They will remember the experience of being in that moment where something magical happened, which is what this whole Holland America cruise is all about, is that you're in the space where it's happening. You'll remember this afternoon. You'll remember how you felt when you saw that glacier.
I mean, if Oprah says that, it's got to be right, right? She's the godmother of our newest ship, so that's why we really value her opinion about Holland America. But thank you so much for coming. I'll be at my table or my desk, so come ask me questions if you have any. I have brochures and all that good stuff.
Okay,
So
that's what I was